I've just created a document and now I need to save. Really, really important feature to learn when you're working in Word is how to save your document. And of course, there's several ways of doing this. So if you look at the very top of your screen, on your quick access toolbar, you have the little save icon. All I have to do is click on that once and it will save my document. What if I want to save my document and assign a name or save it as a different name or a copy of my document? The best way to do this is to click on File and move your mouse to Save As. So Save will save your document under the name that you assigned, or Save As will always pull up your dialog box. And when you're in this dialog box, always check to make sure you know where your document is going. So at the top here, if I was to save my document now, it's going to be saved in a folder called Documents. If that's not where you want to save your file, then you pick or create the folder that you want to place your file in. Down here is the file name, and I'm just going to type in sample is going to be the name of my file. Make sure the Save As type is a Word document, or if you click on the More symbol, you may want to save it as a lower version. Some of you may save it as a template, or you may be working with macros. So always check to make sure you know what folder your file is going in. 2, make sure you have a file name as well as the Save As type. And then all you do is click on Save. At the very top of your document, you're going to have the name of the file, and of course you'll see Microsoft Word. It is important to understand that when you save your file, it's saved for the 2010 format. If you were to send this file to someone else that's not using 2010 and or 2007, you're going to have to save it for that lower version. I'm going to click on the tab called File, and I'm going to move my mouse to Save As. In here, the file name is Sample. You can give your file name whatever you like, but you're going to change the Save As type to Word 97-2003. And then once you've done, you just click on Save. Really important for you to look at the very top of your document and take note of the compatibility mode. When you're in this mode, your file is prepared and saved as a lower version. To test this out, I'm going to click on the Insert tab and move my mouse to Smart Art. And when I click on Smart Art, it pulls up the old diagram gallery, which isn't too exciting. I'm going to cancel to take myself out of the dialog box. So if I receive a 2003 or lower version of Word file, I may want to convert this and bring it up to a 2010. So all I have to do to convert it to a 2010 is to click on the tab called File. And right here I have the info selected, and to the right of that it reads Convert. All I do is click on the Convert, and I'm going to put a check mark beside Do Not Ask Me Again about converting documents, and I'll click on OK. So now at the very top, that compatibility mode is gone, and if I click on Smart Art, I now have access to the Smart Art gallery. So when I went up to the file, and when I checked to make sure that info was selected, I saw the icon Convert. I do not have that icon right now because there's nothing to convert. I'm going to give you another way of saving it as a lower version. I can also go down to Save and Send, and I can select Change File Type, and off to the right it reads Word 97-2003 document. I click on that once, and or double click, and it comes up again with your dialog box. check to make sure everything is set up, click on Save, and now it's saved for that lower version. And your clue is at the top where it reads Compatibility Mode. And remember, if you want to convert this up to 2010, you need to click on File, and then all you have to do is select the feature Convert. And now it's converted to 2010. I created a document, I saved it, and I closed out of the document. I'm going to show you how to open a file, and as well as a few other little nifty tips that you may find useful. Let's click on the tab called File and go down to Open. As soon as I click on Open, I'm going to scroll down looking for the file that I created. There it is. It's called Sample. Then I'll click on Open. That's all there is to it, to opening a file. Now I'm going to go up to File again, and I'm going to close this file. Because this file has been saved, if I click on File again, I can go down to where it reads Recent. And on the right hand side, you're going to see a list of all your recent files that you saved and opened. So I have Sample, and then I have another one called Sample, but you'll have all the list of your files here. The max that you can have is 50. The default is set to 25. Now what I like about this recent feature is that I can go to the push pin at the end of my file and click on that once, and it will actually station that file so it will never drop off once the list has reached its maximum. Another thing that I really like is the folder where that file came from. I can also pin that to the list. So that push pin will allow you to pin or unpin at any time. I can also go to the file, right button on that file, and remove it from the list. All I'm removing is the shortcut to that file or the shortcut to that folder. So this feature is really handy. You'll always see a list of the last 25. That's your default. The maximum is 50. And I will show you how you can change that default in a few minutes. Another thing I like to point out at the very bottom, we have quickly access a number of recent documents. I'm going to click in that box, and I'm going to change my number to 3. So what will happen here is that when I click on my Home tab, and then I go back to my File tab, I will see the last 3 that I was working on right in this list. Now if I click on Recent, you'll see the last 25, but sometimes I'll have my favorite 3, 4, or 5, whatever the case may be. I can increase that number of recent documents by going down here. I can also click on the check mark, and that will remove them from that File menu. Okay, now underneath the File menu, how do you increase or decrease your recent documents? You have to go to the Command Options. When I click on the Command Options, you're going to see a dialog box, and on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on the Advanced command. All I have to do is scroll down on the right and keep going until you get to the category where it reads Display. And then it reads right underneath that, show this number of recent documents. It's set to 25. If I click in that box or just mouse over and hold, there it comes up with a description. I can enter a whole number from 0 to 50. And then once you made your changes, all you have to do is click on OK.